Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Panerai Radiomir 8 Days Ceramica PAM 384, 45 millimeters in black ceramic. This Panerai Radiomir PAM 384 is, like all of the watches showcased on our YouTube channel, actual inventory in stock and available for immediate delivery on our retail website, watchyouwant.com. And if you like getting the latest news, views, and reviews in video format on a daily basis, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now, the Panerai Radiomir 8 Days Ceramica PAM 384 is, like all Radiomir watches, fundamentally a cushion case. So 45 millimeters on my wrist, 16 centimeters, that is about 6.3 inches in circumference. It fits perfectly. It's almost all case. The only projection outward at the terminus of the case is the spare loop of wire-style lug that's binding the watch to its strap. So while my wrist is small, this watch is an excellent fit for a smaller wrist. Don't think 45 millimeter watch. Think 45 millimeters at its extremities. The lug is barely there. It's a little loop of wire, and the case is almost perfectly a 1-to-1 aspect ratio, or as tall as it is wide. And this angle, this vantage point, really shows that to best effect. You can see that this watch from overhead doesn't even span the edges of my tiny wrist. So if you have a small wrist, even as small as 15 centimeters or smaller, this is likely to be an excellent fit for you. And there are two other elements that make that possible. First is the lightweight of ceramic. It's not quite as light as titanium, but it's much lighter than steel. So the watch hardly feels like it has any mass on the wrist. If you want something that wears free and easy and comfortable, it's a great choice. And it has a nice flat regular case back, so it really sits flush to the wrist with plenty of tumble home alongside its curved bezel and its sort of bowed out or rounded case flanks. A dress cuff can easily slip up and over this watch. It's not the thinnest timepiece on earth, but because it does have so much tumble home, a sleeve can easily mount up and over this timepiece. Now, the other key element to the ergonomic equation is the quality of this strap. It's a beautiful black calfskin on the bottom, but on the top it features a unique suede treatment that's rarely seen on Panerai watches. If the most common Panerai strap option is either a rubber or a calfskin in the assolutamente sort of untreated calfskin look for historical purposes, then if you take the rubber and the calfskin out of the equation, most of what's left is either going to be the bracelet, rarely seen, or croc, alligator I should say, also rarely seen. This suede treatment is almost unique in every respect. It's a real rarity in the Panerai catalog, and it's a once-in-a-blue-moon type thing. It's a perfect complement to this all-black look, and this watch is all black. Even on the case back, the caliber 2002/3 has been extensively PVD treated to reduce its visual signature and maintain the stealth profile of the PAM 384. Likewise, on the dial, the signature Panerai legibility is all there. You can tell at a glance what time it is. This watch features an exceptionally deep-cut sandwich-style dial, so a stencil with depth over a loomed solid disc, and all of the indices, the numeral 12, the numeral 6, represent deep cuts through that stencil top layer. So when it shines at night, you can see the full depth of each of those wells in the stencil with the loom shining out from behind it. Very beautiful, but also a Panerai tradition dating back to the 1930s and the very first of the Panerai Italian Navy combat watches. Now you can see the time thanks to the abundantly loomed broad minute and hour hands, but the hands themselves, as well as the dog fang power reserve indicator, are black oxidized so that they blend into the background. Likewise, the small seconds hand at 9 o'clock. The idea is to create, as much as possible, a monochromatic look, with the only contrast being the luminescent element and the print itself. Likewise, a very minimalist date window at 3 o'clock with a monotone black date disc and just enough contrast that you can read the day of the week, or rather the date I should say. 8-day power reserve. Now there are a couple of different Panerai power reserve models, but the dog fang is the best known and best loved among the Paneristi. It essentially moves across the dial according to the discharge of the manual wind 8-day movement. Now on the case back you can see that movement, well, in all of its glory noir. The bottom line is fully black PVD. You can see all the finishing elements that are intrinsic to the modern Panerai in-house movements. Since 2006 we've seen a rollout of these Panerai in-house movements. No longer ETA, no longer Unitas, Valjoux, or FPGA, or even Zenith-based. Panerai does it all at their own Neuchâtel manufacture, and the quality of this first generation 2000 series was astounding. Over-engineered in every way. The watch is engineered to the same standard as it's styled, designed to resemble an old-style pocket watch movement like those used in the 30s, 40s, and 50s in the Panerai combat watches. You can nevertheless see, for service purposes, the partitions between the separate bridges of the movement for servicing purposes, but the linear brushing, the beautiful artisanal anglage, the level of attention to detail, and the tight and even perlage across the base plate speaks to the modern luxury watch standard of craft attention lavished on this piece. So vintage at first glance, very modern in every respect upon close scrutiny. Now you can see the dual anchored balance bridge with a fixed index, so free sprung, very shock resistant, also exceptional endurance. Thanks to 3 mainspring barrels, it has a very even progressive 8-day power reserve, so discharge over more than a week. This is a bit of a, shall I say, particular look. All black may not be the timepiece you wear daily, so if you want to put this watch down sometimes as part of a rotation, or if you want to make this an occasional timepiece, you won't have to reset it. Just 1 day of winding per week, genuine quality time with your watch, will sustain this one. So if you're not going to wear it every day, or if you're a collector with a rotation, this is the ideal watch to put in that rotation because of its unique endurance. Now, all the caliber 2000 watches are exceptionally built. This was Panerai's debut movement family, and they really broke the bank and over-engineered all of them. Everything from the way the balance is anchored, to the free-sprung architecture, to the 8-day power reserve with an integral linear power reserve indicator. These movements went above and beyond. And to get that movement in a watch this unique looking, all of ceramic, case and bezel, so that it's virtually as scratch resistant as the sapphire crystal itself, it's a can't-lose proposition. A stunning look, a unique look, also a look that's going to stand the test of time, because unlike PVD cases, this is a material that is black straight through. Again, unlike PVD cases, it's also a material that has an almost rock-hard scratch resistance to it. Because it is a high-tech kiln-fired ceramic, its properties make it almost as scratch-resistant as sapphire crystal. This is a watch that offers tremendous personality. It is not your everyday Panerai Radiomir. It's a watch that is visually distinctive, mechanically memorable, and a unique experience on the wrist because of the light and easy fit of ceramic. It's a fantastic watch for someone who wants a Panerai that is distinctly different, that's going to stand apart at the Panerai Club meetings, that doesn't essentially hew to the old maxim, Panerai, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. This PAM 384 really is a unique piece. It is a standout Panerai Radiomir reference. This is the Panerai Radiomir 8 Days Ceramica PAM 384, 45 millimeters in black ceramic. See it on our website, Watch You Want.